Now, we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Good afternoon. My name is Miss Sandy, and these are my helpers, which are not, this is Carlos, and that is Colin. And today, Wednesday, we're going to look at the relic of St. Anne. Now this is very, very old. You can imagine how old this relic is. Who was St. Anne? Who was St.
Mary's
Mary's mom, yes. And what was she to Jesus?
She was Jesus' grandma.
Jesus' grandma, right. Jesus had a grandma, just like everybody had a grandma. Right, whether they're in heaven or if they're still down here on earth, Jesus had a grandma. So, we have, and I'm going to let each one of you see up close, this is a gold sealed container, and it's called a reliquary. Say that word. Reliquary. Say it again. Reliquary. And this is the relic. It looks like a little tooth. That little tiny white bone right there. You see it? Okay. And you see it, Susan? Okay. Right. And people often would take like little pieces of the body of a saint, usually a piece of bone, and they would, because when they would die, they would know that this was a very holy person, and it was a custom of the culture of that time. We don't do that too much anymore, but at any rate, they used to do this. And of course, they used to do this a very long time ago. And the trick is to keep these relics safe because they are parts of the body of a person that's in heaven. They've been declared a saint. They're in heaven. Okay, now, the next thing I want to mention to you all is something called the Eucharistic miracles. Say that word. Eucharistic miracles, yes. And this is when a priest who is about to consecrate the host. And as I've told you before, he said he takes the host and he prays just like Jesus did. And he says the sacred words, "This is my body." And then he raises it up really, really high for everybody to see. You've seen that in church? Yes. He doesn't keep it there very long. Then he puts it down. Well, once in a while, a priest may start to doubt about what he is really doing. And he may think, who do I think I am? I'm just a man. Even though I'm an ordained priest, I do bad things. I sometimes sin. I have to go to confession like everybody else. And priests do go to confession, you know. So, they can sometimes doubt about their ability to consecrate the host. And they keep thinking, am I just fooling myself? I'm just an ordinary person. And am I just doing these words and nothing is really happening? And of course God knows what's going on in his mind because he knows what's going on in all of our minds all the time, even when we doubt. So, is this in your way? No? Sometimes God will say, I'll straighten this out. And he has the blood from the body starts dripping right out of the host. By this time, after he has consecrated it, it is Jesus' body. But if that priest goes, I don't know if this is working or not, sometimes, not often, but sometimes, God will say, okay, we have to teach him a lesson, you know? And so here comes the blood right out of the bread, splashes down. And How do you think that priest felt then, huh? Like, maybe embarrassed, maybe thinking, oh my goodness, it really is his body, it's bleeding, and this is true. And this happens, not all the time, but it has happened enough that there are pictures of this in books, lots of books about the Eucharistic miracle. So I wanted you to be aware of this phenomena, that it may not happen in your lifetime, or it may be happening and you don't know about it yet. But it does happen, and it has happened, and it's been verified. Okay. All right, now what we're going to do now is we're going to go into the church and we're going to look at the stained glass windows. Okay, so let's walk out this way. Excuse me, what's yours? You're supposed to be listening and learning. Thank you. Okay, what we are going to do is, in the 5 minutes that we have left, we are going to go and look at the stained glass windows. Why do we have stained glass windows in churches? Why?
To show people like the stories that can't read or write.
Yes, what?
If they're deaf and they can't hear, they look at the.
Yes, that's true too. So, the old churches especially, all of their windows were stained glass to show a story, to teach a lesson, because people couldn't read in those olden days, remember? So what we're going to do is we're going to walk over to that first window, blue shirts, followed by the red shirts. Let's come over here. Okay, let's look at this window here. Is everybody here yet? The top window. What's happening in that window? What? The angel Gabriel is talking to Mary, you're right. And what's he saying? What's he saying, Carla? I see a hand over here. What?
He's saying that he's going to have a baby.
Yes, the angel is saying, God would really like for you to have his son, to be the mother of the Messiah. And Mary knew what this meant, because they had been waiting and studying. They knew that the Messiah was going to open the gates of heaven. So she knew that this was a really big deal. So she, of course, said what? What did she say? Yes. She said, yes, I'll do anything that God wants me to do. And that's a good thing for us to think about too, huh? That I will do anything that God asks me to do, the best I can. So in that second picture right down there, the angel had said right before he left, he said, oh, by the way, Mary, your cousin Elizabeth, who is old, too old to be having a baby, guess what? She's about to have a baby. So Mary went into the hill country to visit her cousin and to help her have her baby and to take care of her baby. And she was gone for a couple of months doing that till her cousin Elizabeth was well. And what was her cousin Elizabeth's baby's name? Who was that?
John?
Yes, John. Well, his name was John, and he became John the Baptist after a while when he got to be grown. Okay, let's look down here at this picture, way down here. Let's walk. Come on, quick, quick. Okay, in the corner over here, what's happening? What's happening? What?
Jesus was born
Jesus is being born. And where is he being born?
in the stable
In a stable. Why is he in a stable?
because that's the only place they could find.
It's the only place they could find. And where were they?
In Bethlehem.
Bethlehem, right. Joseph got the news that he had to go with Mary to Bethlehem to sign the census. And so that's why they had to go. And while they were there, of course, Bethlehem was really crowded and all the hotels and motels were booked up. But they went to a place that had animals, and at least she didn't have to have the baby in the street. Okay, now let's see. I think, okay, we have to finish. Okay, we are going to finish here for today, but we will pick up right over here tomorrow when you all come, okay? All right, thank you so much. Thank you, Red Shirts.
Thank you.
This is the Sagona family.
Thank you.
Wait, let me see